So we will be discussing the three basic, or say the main or the most important kinematic chains, which consist of four lower pairs. Each pair either would be a turning pair or a sliding pair. So the three kinematic chains that we are going to study are four bar chain or quadratic cycle chain, single sider clank chain, and double slider crank chain. Now, four bar chain mechanism you can see on your screen. It is the simplest and the basic kinematic chain. It consists of four links. You can see O2B is the crank, BC, that is link 3, is connecting rod, and CO4 is your rocker or lever which oscillates, and O2, O4 is your fixed link frame. You know, a kinematic chain gets converted into a mechanism only when the fixed link is decided, right? So here we have the O2, O4 as the fixed links. Four links may be of different lengths, and obviously they must be of different lengths. Let me show you the actual working of this. You can see, as the link 1 is the fixed link, that is frame link. Here you can see AD is the frame link. Link 2 crank is that link which has completely rotary motion. So you can see AB link is the crank link and it completely rotates about the fixed link, that is A. Link which is attached to that crank is connecting rod, which is link BC. You can see it is oscillating. Connecting rod or coupler, it oscillates. And fourth link is lever or rocker, which makes partial rotation, that is oscillation. So you can see the link CD, it is oscillating. Link 1 and 2, that is frame and crank, forms a turning pair. Crank and connecting rod, link 2 and link 3, forms a turning pair. Link 3 and link 4, that is connecting rod and rocker or lever, forms a turning pair. And link 4 and link 1, that is our rocker and lever and frame link, that also forms a turning pair. So guys, in short, the four bar chain, quadratic cycle chain or four link mechanism, it has all four pairs as the turning pairs. So it has all four pairs as lower pairs, and those all pairs are turning pairs. You should remember that. Let us go to the inversions of four bar chain mechanism. One by one, let us understand them. The first one is called as the beam engine mechanism. It is called as the crank and lever mechanism. The reason being, we have crank and lever, right? And the change in the actual four bar chain is that at the end, we have added piston and cylinder, right? So since some adding or subtracting, if it is done in a original mechanism, then that becomes the inversion of mechanism. So that is why we can say that beam engine mechanism is an inversion of the four bar chain mechanism. This is the first inversion of four bar chain mechanism, and this mechanism, you can see, it is used to convert the rotary motion of the crank into the reciprocating motion. So you can we can say that this is the fixed link, which is frame link number 1. As the crank link 2 rotates, our coupler link 3 oscillates. Because of that, lever, it is also going to oscillate. You can see over here the oscillating motion is shown. As the lever oscillates, the piston rod is going to move up and down, which causes the motion of piston up and down, reciprocating motion of piston in the cylinder. So this is how the beam engine mechanism functions. Let us move to the next inversion of four bar chain mechanism, and that is the coupling rod of locomotive. Coupling rod of locomotive is also called as double crank mechanism. It is called as double crank mechanism because here you can see that this fourth link in the original mechanism was a lever which used to oscillate. But we have replaced that lever with second crank. We already have one crank, but we have added another crank. So since there are two cranks, we call it as the double crank mechanism. So in the original 4-bar chain mechanism, link 4 was a lever, which now is replaced by one crank, which means there are two cranks. So this is called as the double crank mechanism. The purpose of this mechanism, what is the purpose? The purpose is to transmit rotary motion from one wheel to another wheel by means of the coupling rod. And this is the coupling rod link 3, which you can see. So link 1 is the fixed link, link 2 is the crank, link 3 is the coupling rod, and again link 4 is the crank. The mechanism has 4 links and 4 turning pairs. You can see link 1 and 2, that is fixed link and crank makes one turning pair. Crank and coupling rod makes another turning pair. Coupling rod and crank makes third turning pair. And again, the second crank and the fixed link makes the fourth turning pair. So all 4 pairs are the lower pairs and they are all the turning pairs. Let us move by seeing the animation of this. You can see the rotary motion from one wheel to another wheel is transformed with the help of the coupler or connecting rod. Now, the third inversion of the 4-bar chain mechanism is the Watt straight line mechanism. It's not correct to spell this as Watt, it is actually Watt straight line mechanism. And this straight line mechanism is a topic in your syllabus. Individually, it is written straight line mechanism. So one of the straight line mechanisms is the Watt straight line mechanism that we are going to study. Uh, Now, starting with this mechanism, this is also called as the double lever mechanism. The reason we'll see that what are the levers, 2 levers that we have. Let us first start by seeing the 4 links that we are going to have. The first link is link number 1, right? I will call it as the fixed link A, right? The fixed link A is the first link. The second link is going to be this link, which is AC, right? So fixed link AC, sorry, not fixed link, link number 2 is link AC. So link 2 is link AC. The third link, let me show you by marking. The third link is this link, which is link CE. And the fourth link is link BFD. Link number 4 is BFD. Now, see what exactly happens. Links CD and BFD, they are going to act as levers. Link CD and BFD are going to act as levers, and that is why we are going to call this mechanism as double lever mechanism. Let us see how this functions. See, as the gas or steam or whatever medium it is there, as it rises inside the cylinder, the piston and piston rod is going to move up. Because of that, the BFD, the link which is there, the lever which we have, it is going to take the new position B dash, F dash, D dash. Because of that, the other lever which we have, CE, that is going to take the new position C dash E dash. While this happens every time, while the upward and downward motion of piston inside the cylinder, what is going to happen? This E dash will always be in an approximately straight line mechanism. Hence, we always call this as the straight line mechanism. Moving ahead, these were the three inversions of the 4-bar crank chain mechanism. Let us move to the single slider crank chain mechanism. Now, if someone asks you what is the difference between the single slider crank chain mechanism and 4-bar mechanism, then the biggest difference is the pairs. In single slider crank chain mechanism, we have 3 turning pairs and we have 1 sliding pair. While in 4-bar mechanism, we had all 4 pairs as the turning pair. Why in single slider mechanism we have a sliding pair? Because you can see here there is a slider. Right now, let us see which are the turning pairs. This is the fixed link and this is the crank. So link 1 and link 2 forms the first turning pair. Link 2 and link 3 forms the second turning pair. Link 3 and link 4 forms the third turning pair. And link 4 is going to slide. It is going to reciprocate with respect to link 4. So link 4 and 1 forms the sliding pair. Hence, this is the difference between the 4-bar mechanism and single slider crank chain mechanism. The single slider crank chain mechanism, the purpose is to convert the reciprocating motion into the rotary motion or vice versa. You can say that when the crank rotates, the connecting rod oscillates, and because of that, the slider is going to reciprocate. Or you can say when the slider reciprocates, the connecting rod oscillates, and because of that, the crank takes the rotary motion. I've already showed you what are the sliding pairs and turning pairs in the single slider mechanism. Let's once again go to how it functions. You can see this is the crank, right? And it rotates. So as the crank rotates, this is the coupler or connecting rod that is oscillating. Because of that, you can see this piston and piston rod, it is reciprocating inside the fixed cylinder. Hence, this is the working of the single slider crank chain mechanism. Let us quickly go to the inversions of the single slider crank chain mechanism. The first being the rotary engine. Now see guys, this mechanism, this is one of the inversions of the single slider mechanism. Why? Because in this, the crank link 2, let me show you. This is the crank link 2 that is fixed. Since the fixed link this time is different, every time we used to fix the cylinder. Remember, in the original mechanism, the cylinder was fixed. But this time, instead of cylinder, the crank is fixed. So whichever motion the crank has, the cylinder is going to take that motion. So if the crank is fixed, it used to rotate. So now this time, the whole cylinders, all the cylinders, the whole engine is going to rotate. Hence, this is called as the rotary engine. GNOME engine or V-type internal combustion rotary cylinder engine is used, or say was used in the past as an aero engine. But at present, these engines have almost become obsolete because they have been replaced by gas turbines. Now you can see there are 7 cylinders and all revolve about the fixed center A, right? These all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, all 7 cylinders, right? They are going to revolve, rotate about a fixed link, which is fixed point, which is A. Link 2, like I said, our crank link is fixed over here. So when the link 3, these are our connecting rods. See, this is link 3. These are our coupler rods or connecting rods. So when our link 3 moves, right, as the motion of the connecting rod takes place, the piston is going to reciprocate. It is going to move up and down inside the cylinder, and this is going to cause the whole engine to keep on rotating and rotating. Since our crank is fixed, so the engine is going to take the rotary motion now. Moving ahead to the next inversion, which is Whitworth quick return motion mechanism. Now, how is this an inversion of uh, again the single slider mechanism? Because in this also we have one link number 2 as the fixed link, right? Now, in this second inversion of single slider crank chain mechanism, link 3 is our driving crank. And our driving crank, when it will take one full rotation, when this driving crank is going to take one full rotation, at that time, this slotted lever, that is also going to take one full rotation, right? I'll again mark and show you over there. This is my driving crank. When the driving crank is going to take one full rotation, because the driving crank is attached to this slider in this slotted lever, you can see this slider can move up and down in this slotted lever. So when the driving crank rotates, this slider is also going to take one full rotary motion. Because of that, this oscillating lever, which is attached at the end of the slotted lever, that is also going to oscillate. That is going to oscillate. And because of its oscillation, the slider or our cutting tool, that is going to keep on taking the to and fro motion. So this is how our Whitworth quick return motion mechanism is going to work. What are the turning pairs and sliding pairs? Let us see. Link 1, we are going to call it as the slotted lever. And link 2 is going to be our fixed link. So link 1 and link 2 is going to be one turning pair, right? Link 2. See, now slotted lever is going to rotate with respect to fixed link. Link 2 and link 3. Link 3 is our driving crank and link 2 is our fixed link. So link 3 is also going to rotate with respect to link 2. So that is also one our turning pair. Link 3, that is our driving crank, that is going to cause the motion of our slider. That is again our turning pair, and slider is going to move up and down in our slotted lever. It is going to take a sliding motion inside our slotted lever. Hence, this is our sliding pair. This is how you should understand the Whitworth quick return motion mechanism. Let us quickly see how it functions. Let me first show you the fixed link. This is my fixed link, link 2. This is my link 1, which is slotted lever. This is my link 3, which is driving crank, which is going to take rotation. And this is link 4, which is the slider. So see what happens, guys. The link 1, or let us start from link 3. As the driving crank will take one full rotation, because of that, the slider is going to move up and down. Because of that, this slotted lever will also take one full rotation. And because of its rotation, this oscillating lever is going to oscillate, and it is going to cause the to and fro motion inside of the ram or the slider. Let us keep on seeing the, you'll understand. See, as the driving crank rotates, the slider is moving up and down, which causes the whole rotation of the slotted lever. And as the slotted lever rotates, the ram is moving, right, to and fro. So this was one of the quick return motion mechanism, which is also called as Whitworth quick return motion mechanism. Let us move to the another mechanism, which is oscillating cylinder engine mechanism. This mechanism is used to convert the reciprocating motion into the rotary motion. How? Let us see one by one. But first we need to understand that why this is an inversion of the single slider crank chain mechanism. You know the definition of inversion? Inversion means fixing different links in the original mechanism will give us altogether a new mechanism, and that is why it is called as the inversion of mechanism. So you can see here, this time instead of crank or fixed link, the connecting rod is fixed. Usually we used to fix the cylinder, the frame link used to be the fixed link, but this time connecting rod is fixed. So obviously the connecting rod has the oscillating motion. If the connecting rod is fixed, then the cylinder will now oscillate. Hence, this becomes the inversion of the single slider crank chain mechanism. In this, since link 3 is the fixed link and it is the turning pair which is the fixed pair, so how does this function? As the crank rotates, the piston, since connecting rod is fixed, the piston is going to slide up and down. As the piston slides up and down, the cylinder is going to oscillate. It is going to take the oscillatory motion. We can see this here in the mechanism. I'll show you. See, this is my crank, which is rotating. This is the crank which is rotating. With the crank, this piston rod is there, which is reciprocating inside the cylinder. And because of that, this cylinder, you will see it is oscillating. Now, just take a look at the animation. As the crank rotates, you can see the piston and piston rod is reciprocating, and our cylinder is hinged at this point. See, sorry, let it move some bit and I can show you the hinge. Guys, see, this is the hinge point. So with respect to hinge, ये हमारा जो cylinder है वो oscillate हो रहा है. Hence, this mechanism is called as the oscillating cylinder engine, because in this mechanism the cylinder is oscillating and not the connecting rod. Hence, this is called as oscillating cylinder engine. Moving ahead, to the last mechanism of the single slider crank chain, which is crank and slotted lever quick return motion mechanism. Right? Why we are calling it as a crank and slotted lever quick return motion mechanism? Because see, this is our crank. This is actually our slotted lever. It will have somewhat this shape. This is my slotted lever. So crank and slotted lever. How will this function? As the crank rotates, right? What is happening? The slotted lever is oscillating. Because of that, the another lever which is attached to it, that is also oscillating, and our slider is sliding. And quick return motion mechanism, because you will see that when the cutting takes place in this direction, right, the slider is moving as per the cutting motion, but its return motion is going to be very quick. It will quickly return to its original position. Let us see what I said. You can observe this now. You can see here, as the crank rotates, this our slotted lever is oscillating, right? So as the slotted lever oscillates, the another lever is also taking oscillating motion, and because of that our slider is moving forward, and its return motion is a quick return motion mechanism. This is used in shaping machines. Let us understand the crank and slotted lever mechanism in deep. So this is my crank, link number 2. Link 1 is the fixed link, you can see here, and this is link 2, which is crank. Link 3. Link 3 is in the actual mechanism was the connecting rod, but here we are having this as a slotted lever. With that link, we have link 4, or say this is my slider and link 4 is the slotted lever. This slotted lever is attached to another lever, which is link number 5, and link number 6 is the ram or the slider. Now still let us understand this more in deep. BB dash, B, B dash and B double dash are the extreme positions, right? And because of that, C, C dash and C double dash would be the movement of the slider. So let us understand this way, that suppose when the crank rotated, right? When the crank took the position from B to B dash, the slotted lever moved from C to C dash, and the ram moved from D to D dash. When again the motion took from B dash to B double dash, the crank moved from B dash to B double dash. At that time, the slotted lever oscillated from C dash to C double dash. It actually took this much motion, this range of motion, C dash to C double dash. And slider came back from D dash to D double dash. This is how the functioning of crank and slotted lever mechanism takes place. Let us move ahead to the double slider crank chain. How is this different from single slider crank chain mechanism? Now, the word itself tells us, since the double sliders are there, So two sliders are there, right? So now there are going to be two turning pairs and two sliding pairs. So two turning pairs and two sliding pairs in the double slider crank chain mechanism. Let us move to the inversions of the double slider crank chain mechanism. The first one being the elliptical trammel. Why we call it as elliptical trammel? Because in this coupler link or connecting ring, if at the end, right, I extend the end, and if I put here a pencil or a pen, and then when I move, when the sliders will move or take their motion, the path which would be generated would be a path of an ellipse. Hence, it is called as the elliptical trammel. Let us see how it functions. In this link 1 and link 3 are the sliders. Hence, we are going to call it as the double slider mechanism. Link 2 is the connecting link, which is going to rotate, right? So as the link 2 connecting link rotates, the sliders are going to take their motion from extreme positions from one end to another end. And while they take the motion at the end of this coupler link 3, at this point C, the path of ellipse will be generated. Such a mechanism is used for tracing the path of various sizes of ellipse. Let us see how this is, how the two turning pairs and two sliding pairs are there in this, right? Now see link 1 slider and link 2, that is the turning pair, right? Because the sorry because the connecting link is going to turn or rotate with respect to the slider. Link 2 and 3, link 2 and 3 is also the turning pair. But see, link 3 and link 4 is the slotted frame. So link 3 slider is going to slide with respect to slotted frame. Hence, it is the sliding pair. Same way, link 1 and link 4. Slider 1 is going to slide with respect to the slotted frame. Hence, this is also a sliding pair. So in double slider crank chain mechanism, there are two turning pairs and two sliding pairs. Let's move to the another inversion of uh, double slider crank chain mechanism, which is the Scotch yoke mechanism. Now, what or say why this is an inversion of the double slider crank chain? The slotted frame actually was this way. If you would have noted down, this portion of slotted lever, we have removed it, right? This portion of the slotted lever, we have removed it. So what exactly happens in this mechanism? One of the sliders, जो first link था link 1 slider, now we have fixed that link. One of the sliders is fixed. Hence, this is an inversion of the double slider crank chain mechanism. Let us see how it functions. Link 2 crank, when it is going to, since link 1 is fixed and not the frame link is fixed, तो जो link 1 slider का motion था oscillation, वो अब fixed link ले लेगा. Fixed link या ये जो पूरा frame है, this, that is going to now slide to and fro, right? So let us understand how this functions. As the crank rotates, link number 2, as the crank rotates, the slider is going to move in the extreme positions, link 3 slider is going to move up and down, and with this our frame will move to its extreme positions. To and fro motion of the frame is going to take place. So this is the inversion, which is called as the Scotch yoke mechanism. Let's move ahead to the last inversion of the double slider crank chain, which is Oldham's coupling. So this is the last inversion or the third inversion, which is Oldham's coupling. Now see how this, or what is, why this is an inversion. In this link 3 which was there, our coupler, right, or connecting rod that we have fixed. जो कपलर या कनेक्टिंग लिंक था वही हमने फिक्स कर दिया है, और वो एक्चुअली कपलर या कनेक्टिंग रोटरी मोशन ले रहा था। तो अब ये पूरा जो है लिंक 2 एंड 4 वो ही रोटेट होने वाले हैं, राइट। सो दिस इज, दैट्स व्हाई इट इज एन इन्वर्जन ऑफ द मैकेनिज्म। Fixing the link 2 connecting the two slider blocks is now the fixed link, right? So if one slider block is a turning through an angle, the frame and the other block will also turn through the same angle. Let me show you how. This way, right? So I can say that now if at this end, if I'll give the rotary motion, right? So if I'll turn the one of the sliders, right? Sliders, then because of that, right? What is going to happen? The another frame and the block, the other block, these two are also going to turn through the same angle. The application of this is Oldham's coupling. So basically this was kinematics of machine, and in this we were, in this particular session we were discussing about the inversions of 4-bar mechanism, single slider mechanism and double slider mechanism.